Hello and welcome back to Apex Online Racing Hype Energy F1 League on the Xbox platform. It's round 5 of this 15th season, and we're at the Circuit de Catalunya for the Spanish Grand Prix. My name is Justin, and joining me once again for today's race, it's Andy.
Yep, it's good to be back again, Justin. The European season is about to get underway in full swing. Well, can the Flying Finn make it 5 wins from 5 here? It's been a perfect start to his season, Justin. And can he equal that record of Noble's 12 successive victories, obviously spanning over last season and into this season? It's going to be quite interesting to see if he can draw level with that record, Justin.
Yeah, and if memory serves me correctly, I do believe Noble's record was also set across 2 seasons, so it's not like there would be much difference in how that was done if that does end up coming to fruition today at the Spanish Grand Prix. But we're on board with CRL Hamilton in the Williams. I do believe he was first out of the pits. He's going to be first to set a time as he makes his way through the first couple of corners and up the hill. And it was a pretty good Spanish Grand Prix. Maybe not the best race of the season. It was all right. Not very close up at the front earlier today, though, for the real Spanish Grand Prix. Lewis kind of walked away with it at the front, but I mean, it certainly wasn't the most boring race in the world, but yeah, hopefully we'll have a little bit more action here at AOR.
Hopefully we will, and CRL Hamilton out there pushing hard, and look at him going up through turn 7 and 8 now through what is flat now for the cars in real life, but maybe not so just about there. Look at that, Hamilton pushing through turn 9 and down into turn 10. The first man out there and looking up there as he goes through turn 10 and now up through turn 11 and 12. Now this is a real gauge, this area of the racetrack, usually, to who will be quick at Monaco. You know, this is quite a similar area of the circuit to Monaco, really slow speed through these tight chicanes and slow corners, and here goes CRL Hamilton over those bumps, those tricky final chicane, and then up towards turn 16, the final turn, and up across the start finish line comes CRL Hamilton. What's it going to be? A 1:18.2 to open his account for the session, Justin. But yeah, hopefully we can have an exciting race here today. But I heard a few people murmuring to me in the paddock that the Flying Finn is very quick round here, always goes well, and it's going to be very difficult to beat him. Can Sith Rise deliver? Oh, what's that?
There's a Haas in the barrier on the run down towards the turn 10 hairpin coming out of turn 9. I was just switching over to the Flying Finn. You know, I wanted to go on board with him as we were talking with him, and I just saw a Haas buried into the wall on the right-hand side coming down towards turn 10. I'm not sure who that was. Maybe it was LGS. Yeah. Must be the case. But yeah, the Flying Finn, I believe, is gonna he's gonna go quickest of all by about 4 tenths, just under 4 tenths, 117.6 for his initial lap. And wow, it's actually a pretty big gap down to some of the other times. Well, yeah, it looks like Reynolds and Pinecone well off the pace of the rest, so maybe those guys not really setting representative times. Certainly Limitless is 129.6. I don't think that's very representative, but yeah, so it's looking like most of the drivers in the 118s, all except for the Flying Finn.
Well, yeah, I don't know what's happened to Limitless. They're on the wheel. I mean, there's been such a discussion. Am I on the pad? Am I on the wheel? We've got no idea what Limitless is doing at the moment. So don't ask us. We don't have a clue. Do you know, Justin? I don't know what he's doing.
No, I can't claim to know what JD's doing.
LGS, I mean, he's crashed it up at turn 9. It's a very tricky corner, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can just be too greedy, Justin, can't you? Try and take it flat out, as I've just mentioned before, and you can just run a little bit wide onto that gravel, spin the rears up, and round you go. And in a high-speed corner like that, you're very likely to go and destroy the vehicle in the wall, and that's exactly what LGS has done. So a kick in the teeth for him, a kick in the teeth for the Haas mechanics, and his session has come to a premature end. So we're almost halfway through the session already, and the Flying Finn, a 1:17.6, looking really strong. Look at that, 4 tenths ahead of everyone else, and AOR, that is a big margin, Justin, and it's going to take something special to beat him here, isn't it?
Yeah, interestingly enough, Surprise and Danny M7 both ahead of NLR Evo by the narrowest of margins, less than half of a tenth of a second between those guys. But and now Cryo Lockdown actually goes one better than Surprise, but he's still not quite able to dip into the 117s, though. Goes just 14 thousandths up on that 118.0. And again, Surprise Me and Danny M7 both ahead of NLR Evo, and then Alonso in 6th position with Limitless alongside him. Man, that would be a fantastic start to this Spanish Grand Prix if we had Evo, Alonso, and Limitless all starting right near each other with CRL Hamilton not far behind. P1R Brown doing a good job to be in 8th position at the moment. But yeah, it's very, very tight. And in fact, from 2nd down to 15th, it is less than half a second.
You say that there, Justin. Look at that. It's virtually the same gap between 2nd and 15th than there is between Finn and Lockdown at the top. That just shows you how impressive the Flying Finn has been of late, and that is absolutely incredible. And a quick word on Lockdown. He hasn't been here for the last couple of events. Of course, he has been away on holiday, I believe, but he was quick in China, wasn't he? Was he not?
Yeah.
Continuing that form here in Spain, despite that 2-race absence, Justin. So very impressive from him, and it looks like he might be able to slot himself just ahead of Surprise on pace here. We'll keep an eye on it, but very good effort from him, isn't it?
Yeah. And we do have a couple of cars out on track. It's more so in Lockdown, but they are both in lane and making their way back to the pits as it sits right now. So no cars really out on track pushing, and in fact, Lockdown already into the pits. And more so looks like he's going to be following him. We do have a car coming out of the pits, though, as we are getting into the closing stages of this qualifying session. They could probably get out there and do 2 more laps, but then, of course, if they qualify on those tires, they're going to be a bit more used compared to the other drivers. Wow, the 2 Mercedes coming out in tandem. Yeah. That was beautiful, actually. I don't know if that was planned, but that was really nice to see. But yeah, there we go. The parade of cars now coming down the pit lane as we prepare to get into the final stages of this qualifying session. And I'm sure we'll see a bit of a shakeup because, again, it's just so close from 2nd right down really to 16th. Again, let's assume Pinecone didn't have a great lap. And again, Martin yet to set a time and Sam as well, too. So I can only imagine there's going to be quite a few shakeups because it's just so close between the drivers.
And I mean, it's going to take something special, though, Justin, isn't it, to knock the Flying Finn off his perch? It really is. I mean, that 4/10 cushion is something. I mean, we did see in Bahrain, though, last week, Justin, that a huge increase in time right at the end of the session. Everyone improved, and it looked for all the while that Flying Finn might not be on pole, but then, of course, right at the very end, he delivered a stunning lap when he was sitting in 7th place. All the pressure on him, and he answered it. So at the moment, he's looking pretty strong and looking good for that pole, but as you say, anything can happen beyond that. Look at it, the 2nd to 15th, 4/10 of a second, and as you say, Pinecone, the only man not to get a representative time on the board, some half second off the tail of Rosberg. We still wait for Martin, we still wait for Sam. Where will they slot in? As LGS, of course, having taken that early path with that crash at turn 9, he'll be watching on, and he can have a better race tomorrow. But the Flying Finn about to start a lap.
Yep, and in fact, let's go on board with him. I was just looking at Evo, who could be one of the competitors for that pole position. We'll have to see. Again, the Flying Finn has been quite dominant in qualifying all throughout this Season 15. We're into round 5 already, just 15 races in Season 15. That's a great way of remembering how many races we have left. 15 races in Season 15. So this will be 1/3 through the season once this race is completed. So every win is more important in this season than it was in the previous season, just because there's fewer races to claw those points back at. Again, after this one is completed, just 10 Grand Prix remaining in Season 15 of Apex Online Racing on the Xbox side. So, again, the cars are out on track. It's looking like a tidy lap from the Flying Finn. I'm certainly not one to judge speed, so I'm not going to claim to know exactly how good of a lap it is, but he makes his way up the hill out of turn 9 into that secondary DRS zone and into the heavy braking zone at turn 10. It's a 21.7 in Sector 2 for the Flying Finn. And he's now into this very tricky Sector 3, which, as Andy said earlier, is very different from the rest of the circuit, kind of tight and twisty. A lot of commentators would describe it as Mickey Mouse. I know that's a very common term that gets used to describe this Sector 3. A lot of people wish they would just open it up, get rid of that chicane, but the Flying Finn finishing up the lap now. He'll have another opportunity, but will he want to take it? And that's a 1:17.4, so it is an improvement. His brother Alonso into the 1:17s as well. But that is that the sort of improvement we were expecting? Were we maybe expecting a lower 1:17 from him?
Well, I'm not so sure, but here comes Surprise for the line. What's he going to do? Can he go any quicker? A 17.8, so he moves up to second. There was something I noted on Flying Finn's lap there. Did you see the amount of the circuit he was using on the exit of turn 4 before turn 5? He was right out onto the curb, using all the circuit, and I mean, it was absolutely brilliant, taking absolutely everything on going through turn 4 and 5. Absolutely incredible.
And NLR Evo
moving up, and Evo now third. Yes, Justin, up into third. NLR Evo. So he moves up, but Surprise still clinging on to that second place. Who else have we got out there pushing on a lap? We've got Lockdown in the final sector. He was second before all these runs kicked off. Has he got anything to respond with as he heads through the final couple of corners in the Sauber, up towards the line through turn 16, DRS open on the Sauber, up to the line, where's he going to go? He goes back up into second place. So there you go, Justin. He continues to fight on and battle his way back up into that second place, but still, no one touching Finn at the moment, Justin.
Yep, and his brother, though, is looking to do that. I know he's been pushing hard on max fuel this lap. DRS open as he crosses the line. It's only good enough for 5th quickest, 1:17.879, just 16 thousandths of a second slower than NLR Evo. They'll be sharing the 3rd row of the grid as it stands right now. Alonso with not enough fuel to do another lap. Evo, though, however, is on his way through the chicane. He's on another one. He could put in another time. He's in max fuel as well through the final corner, keeping that throttle buried, of course, with all the aerodynamics in 2017. And he crosses the line. No, it's not an improvement. It's a 10th off his personal best. And he's also destroyed those tires a little bit now, too. So I don't know how that's going to work for him in the race. Is the Flying Finn pushing? No, he is not.
Justin, Lockdown and Danny, nothing between them. Nothing.
Woo!
Absolutely
Holy
nothing
cow.
between them. Danny's crossed the line. He's gone third. Lockdown's on another lap, but he's just a fraction down on his current best through that second sector. We'll see what he does through the final sector. All sorts of understeer through 14, compromising him through 15. And is he coming up to the line? Has he backed out of it? He has indeed backed out of it. So that is it for him. We've got TLR Leopard yet to complete his lap if he's on one. Short shifting, I think. So yeah, he's out of it. And that is that, Justin. Flying Finn on pole yet again. And by some distance. Look at that. 3/10, Justin. It's going to take something special to beat him in that race tomorrow, isn't it?
Yep, yeah. Once again, a few tenths is the gap between the Flying Finn and the rest of the field. And once again, what would have been an incredibly close qualifying has been ruined by the Flying Finn. It's incredible. Just look how close it is from 2nd down to 13th. I mean, there's 6 tenths in it. Not even. A little over 5 tenths from 2nd down to 13th, but the Flying Finn taking another pole position for round 5 here in season 15. But the Sauber of Cryo Lockdown joining him on that front row with Danny M7 in 3rd, Surprise Me in 4th, Evo in 5th, P1R Brown ahead of Alonso, and then CRL Hamilton in 8th position, Morso and Limitless rounding out the top 10. So Limitless not in a great spot, starting way down on the 5th row of the grid. But we're heading already now to the race. No technical issues that last week, no technical issues this week. Everything is going peachy keen. I'm still at the loading screen. What is the weather? Spoil it for me.
It's rain in Spain. Look at that. Oh, well, Justin, we were crying off air last week for a little bit of inclement weather off air after the Grand Prix, and it looks like it has delivered. Now, could this derail the Flying Finn? We'll have to wait and see. But I would think a little more than a sprinkling of rain will stop him. But the variables like this can throw up surprises, can't they? And there you go. But a quick word on Limitless there in qualifying. What's going on at the moment?
Yeah.
What's going on? He just cannot seem to hook it all up. And his season just hasn't got going yet, Justin. And he really does need to find something in the coming races to kickstart it and really find some momentum. It's not happening for him. Also, P1R Brown, good lap in the top 6, something to build on after that 6th place last time out as well. So good lap by him.
Yeah, for sure. Fantastic. Again, ahead of STSF1 Alonso. But again, it is going to be our first wet race of Season 15. We had quite a bit of precipitation in Season 14, and that made things quite interesting. But this is our first wet race of the season. Hopefully, we'll get a bit mixed conditions. Maybe it'll dry up. Maybe it'll rain again. Who knows? We've got 5 lights. The Flying Finn from pole position with Cryo Lockdown alongside. They're away. It looks like a good start for the Sauber, actually. He could claim that inside line on the Mercedes. No, it looks like the Flying Finn is going to cover him off. The Ferrari of NLR Evo in the background is going to make it 3 wide between 3rd, 4th, and 5th into the first corner. It looks like the Toro Rosso of Surprise Me is just about going to edge out Evo there into turn 2. They go as they start to climb the hill through turn 3. Evo around the outside, but no. Surprise Me is going to hold on to that 3rd place position. Alonso already doing battle with Danny M7 as it looks like, a number of drivers losing positions, in fact, in this race, but we'll have to go a little bit further back. Danny and Alonso still side by side with CRL Hamilton not far in the distance, and they're pressuring Evo as well too. It's practically a 3-way battle into this hairpin down the hill. Oh my gosh, I can barely contain myself. This is ridiculous, Andy.
Incredible racing going on in that little group behind the leaders, and it's a terrible start for Danny. He's dropping like a stone through the field, down to 7th position. The Red Bull not responding well on those intermediate tyres, clearly not set up for the conditions, it would seem. Either that or he's just not ready for them. Down to 7th, but he's fighting back. Look at that, side by side, the CRL Hamilton down towards turn 10, and has he got back through? I don't think so. CRL Hamilton with the inside line, and he holds on to that place. Danny squeezed out, and behind that, look at that, Limitless, the cork in the champagne bottle. Look at them all dueling for 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and all the way down to the back of the field, Justin. Incredible.
Yeah, I hope we're not missing anything up at the front, because, yeah, the lower top 10 is definitely where I'm focused at the moment, keeping an eye on the Ferrari of Limitless. Oh, and Alonso, what's happened with him?
Him and Evo side by side through that final chicane. We can barely keep up with what was going on in this opening lap, but him and Evo side by side through the final chicane. Alonso forced off the circuit, and now he's dropped into the clutches of Hamilton, and Hamilton swarming all over the back of Alonso. Is he having a look into turn 1? He can't quite find a way through. Sorry to come across you there, Justin, but there's just so much going on, isn't there? Incredible.
Yep, and EVR Reynolds gaining a couple of positions, making some contact with the Williams coming out of turn 2. He's got the McLaren up the inside now through turn 3, but it looks like he's going to hold on to that P9. Leopard up the inside now on Morso. It looks like he could gain that possession. Yet Leopard up into 10th now for the final points paying position. It looks like the Toro Rosso of Rosberg trying to get involved with that as well too. Wow, there is just so much going on in these back battles. Pinecone gaining position on P1R Brown, who has had a shocking start. Yeah. I completely missed what's been going on with P1R Brown, way down in 15th, 14th now, as he goes up the inside on Pinecone, up the inside on that Haas to gain that position back, that 14th. But he's got Drawmaster right behind as well too, so it's not going to be easy for him. And you can see how much mist there is as they come onto the straight, the back straight between 9 and 10, as Pinecone goes up the inside on P1R Brown. And wow, there's just battles up and down the field.
Brown has actually got some serious front wing damage at the right end plate as you look at it on board.
He does.
Has got damaged, and that is going to hurt him quite significantly. So that might part explain why he's dropped down the field. A real shame, down 9 places. Such a good qualifying. He'd looked to have built on it in the race, but unfortunately it just isn't to be for the Force India driver, and he's dropping down through the field. Meanwhile, out front, look at that, 2.2 ahead of Lockdown for the Flying Finn, and at this stage of the race, that's incredible. But in front of that, we've got 13th and 14th battling. That's Joe and Pinecone going side by side into turn 1, and the battling just continues in these damp conditions. Pinecone tries round the outside, Joe covers the inside, and he's also nursing some damage there on the left-hand plate of his car as you look on board. And now Pinecone fancies a way past him through turn 3 of all places. Side by side he goes with the Red Bull driver. Can he complete it into turn 4? Not quite. Yes, he can, in fact, because Joe's gone a little bit too under the corner, and Pinecone takes 13th place. Breathless start to the race, Justin.
This is incredible. This is already one of my favorite races of the season. But yeah, just couldn't quite hang it around the outside, and who can blame him? It's so difficult. That turn 4 just keeps going. It's almost like Luffield. It's one of those just really, really long corners that keeps on going. You just get hung out to dry on the outside. Meanwhile, up at the front, it looks like Alonso. Oh gosh, actually Leopard, in fact, is actually going side by side with the McLaren of Morso. He's got the Toro Rosso coming up on him, looking backwards actually from the Williams. What an incredible view. The Toro Rosso has actually gotten the better exit on the McLaren with the inside line on that left-hand kink. He is going to take that position. CRL Rosberg up into 11th position. Morso dropping even further, now down into 12th position. Could come under attack from Pinecone pretty soon here, but good move from Leopard and also Rosberg to gain that position. Leopard does have to worry, though. He's got a big gap ahead. He's not going to be picking up any sort of slipstream here, and the Toro Rosso of CRL Rosberg is in hot pursuit, so he might be coming under attack here. Meanwhile, up at the front as well, Surprise running very, very close to Alonso. I'm not sure if they're actually going side by side yet. Let's take a quick peek up ahead. No, they're following each other through turn 2 and into turn 3. Very, very close between the Mercedes and the Toro Rosso, but it doesn't look like Surprise Me able to get alongside. Evo up into second now. He's gained positions in all of this. Cryo Lockdown and the Flying Finn holding steady where they started this race, but Evo and Alonso, the big people gaining at the start of this race. Surprise Me losing a position down into 5th. CRL Hamilton again showing us why he's going to the pro draft in the F1 esports. And Danny M7 really out of the top 10 having the worst start other than P1R Brown.
Yeah, well, Hamilton, they do say that pad works better in the wet conditions, so that might bring him right into contention in 6th place. He's already gained 2 positions, so up to 6th place. We don't know what Limitless is on, but if he's on the pad, I'll be glad if it's with this weather, so we'll keep an eye on that. The weather could change, of course. We don't know what's going to happen as this race goes on. As Evo now gets right onto the tail of Lockdown, and Lockdown is under real pressure because that Ferrari is significantly quicker, and Evo will be wanting to bounce back after that uncharacteristic error and a terrible race last time out, it has to be said. Can he find himself getting up into 2nd and maybe applying some pressure to the Flying Finn? But already, after just 4 laps, to be 3.5 seconds up the road is quite incredible. And especially when you look at all the battling that's going on behind. Everyone is so tightly matched, and we've seen action everywhere. But here goes Evo down towards turn 1. Is there any way you can have a look up the inside on Lockdown? I don't think so. And offline in the damp conditions, it is tricky, of course. Standing water off the racing line, and it makes overtaking difficult in those heavy braking zones, Justin, doesn't it?
Yep, it sure does. But yeah, I imagine Evo is loving this challenge and relishing the opportunity. OMG, it's Joe into the pits. Looks like he's going to be one of the first. Tyrrell Martin is in the pits too. I think is he retired? I actually have not been keeping up with what's been going on with Martin. But OMG, it's Joe into the pits, and it looks like P1R Brown actually did go into the pits based on his gap to the car ahead as well too. Meanwhile, Evo continuing to apply that pressure to Cryo lock down the Sauber just ahead. Really seems to have no answer to the pace of the Flying Finn, who is nearly a second a lap faster than these guys, clearing 4 seconds, over 4 seconds in less than 5 laps. So he is really pulling out a significant gap. It's pretty tight in the back. No DRS, though, of course, in these conditions. So these guys are going to have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Oh, surprise is deep, surprise is deep. Oh, surprise is deep, and that's allowed CRL Hamilton to go up the inside and through into 5th position. And the man on the pad is the man on the move in these damp conditions. Surprise, just a little bit too hot into the corner and through went Hamilton down at turn 10. And now, can he get himself onto this battle for 2nd place? Because Lockdown is quite literally the cork in the champagne bottle there as well. Look, he's holding up Evo, holding up Alonso, and the way Hamilton's going to be holding up him as well, Justin.
And meanwhile, the Flying Finn setting fastest laps with the 133.5 in these conditions. That's 2 seconds faster than what Surprise Me just did, given he did just get overtaken by CRL Hamilton, but he's now down into 6th position, losing 2 places. It's been a fantastic start to the season for the Toro Rosso driver, picking up some podiums already and doing a fantastic job, but this race not going the way he wanted to. We're only 5 laps into this 33-lap Spanish Grand Prix, though. There's still plenty that can happen at the moment. It looks like the rain is going to continue. I did see a little bit of a spot of blue there as we were making our way out of turn 4, but at the moment it doesn't look like it's going to be letting up all that much. Of course, we're not privy to the weather information that these drivers get, but I have to say, I've been on board with Surprise ever since he got overtaken by Hamilton, and Hamilton's actually not closing up on that gap up ahead to those cars. He's, in fact, dropping. It's now almost 3 seconds from Alonso to Hamilton.
Oh, surprise!
Did he go he went pretty wide there, but yeah, it's looking like he might actually go back on the attack here on Hamilton, so this battle for 5th might not be over yet.
Sorry, I got them mixed up there. It was actually Hamilton at that huge slide there, wasn't it? But yeah, I was totally surprised by that. Hamilton looked like he was on the march, and all of a sudden he's dropped right back into the clutches of that group. And look, it's Hamilton, Surprise, Danny, Limitless, and Reynolds all in that little group. And things can get pretty spicy between those guys, as it is between Lockdown, Evo, and Alonso. But yeah, it's been a great race so far, 7 laps in. It's just a shame that Flying Finn is in a league of his own out front, Justin, isn't he? It's absolutely sensational. How can you be 5 seconds ahead of this quality of field after just 7 laps? This is Senna-esque. This is Hamilton-esque. This is incredible. What a drive this is.
Yeah, truly
Incredible,
a masterclass. And I mean, we're seeing the gap that we saw in qualifying, if we're honest, you know. And in fact, we're actually seeing a little bit more than that. In qualifying, it was only about 3 or 4 tenths between the Flying Finn and Cryo Lockdown. But again, as it stands right now, it's pulling out almost a second a lap. So it seems that these conditions have only played into the Flying Finn's hands, as he's just walking away with this Spanish Grand Prix victory. Again, only lap 7. And with this weather, anything can happen, but Surprise Me now starting to fall back. Hamilton starting to close in. It seems that Alonso possibly getting held up by lockdown. Oh, yeah, it's getting very close between the Ferrari and the Sauber as they make their way out of turn 9. He could make a move into the hairpin, but no, he's going to be a bit too far back. Later on to the brakes is NLR Evo, but not able to pull alongside, of course, the Sauber and the Mercedes of STS F1 Alonso. I mean, really, in these conditions, what can Alonso do other than sit back and wait?
Yeah, there's not much he can do. I mean, but the thing is, Evo will eventually, surely, get a little bit frustrated. You know, you've got Flying Finn disappearing off into the distance, Lockdown's slowing down even more lap by lap, and maybe the tyres are starting to go, the rear tyres on Lockdown's car. Evo's surely at some point going to have a little look. He outbraked himself there into turn 10, and then Alonso was clipping at his heels. So that is basically, Justin, as you say, the only chance Alonso's got at the moment. Wait for Evo to try something and see if he can sneak in when it happens. But at the moment, Lockdown holding firm as the gap now ticks to 6 seconds between the first and second, but a real battle developing between Lockdown, Evo and Alonso. Exciting stuff as Lockdown, look at that, the rear end all over the place through turn 3. He must have been burning out those tyres rapidly, and Evo again climbing all over the back of him. On the previous lap through turn 5, he'd have run on him. Here we go through turn 4 and into turn 5. As you can have a look into the hairpin, oh, very nearly as we lose LGS, Justin, and this forgettable weekend looks to have come to a close.
Yep. It did not go well in qualifying. It did not go well in the race for the Haas driver as he retires on lap 8. He might have been on lap 7 when that happened because he was pretty far back, but still on board with this battle for second position, on board with the Ferrari of NLR Evo, and I'm not sure what kind of effect that loss of connection from LGS 469 is going to have on this race. It's already very, very difficult for Evo to find a way past cryo lockdown, and I'm wondering if that disconnect is going to have any sort of negative impact on his ability. Yeah, definitely some opposite lock from the Sauber as he's climbing his way out of turn 12 into turn 13 and then into the chicane. The Ferrari of Evo pushing that Sauber through practically. And I mean, I'm not, I can't claim to know what the strategy here is on dry tires, never mind on intermediates, but I would imagine most of these guys are going to try and do half distance with the one set of intermediates, right?
I would think so, Justin. There's no way they're going to do full distance going with the way of lockdown, sliding that back end around. Right? It's absolutely incredible. But yeah, I would say a one-stop race, inters to inters. But we don't know what the weather's going to do. I mean, it could clear up at any moment. It could get worse at any moment. You've got absolutely no idea. So it's a case of playing it by ear. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Just look at the skies and play. We'll wait and see. But Evo is getting even more frustrated behind lockdown, and lockdown is just sliding everywhere. It's just crazy the amount of sliding he's got. Look at that out of turn 5 through turn 6 again, and Evo is really getting a bit impatient. Look at that into turn 7, almost pushing the Sauber up the hill as they go towards turn 9. Through caps they go, and is Evo this time going to get a little bit of a run on lockdown and send one up the inside towards turn 10? Down towards the brakes they go. Is he going to have a look? No, he's not. Still not close enough, and Evo remains stuck behind, and the Flying Finn continues to stretch his lead. Meanwhile, down in 8th place, what we got there, Reynolds and Limitless doing battle, Justin.
Oh yeah, let's switch on board with that, as it looks like Reynolds went around the outside of the turn 10 hairpin. Interesting move there on Limitless to relegate the Ferrari down to 9th position. So the Ferrari is currently running 3rd and 9th, so both of them in the points, but neither of them where they would like to be. I'm sure Limitless would like to be at the tip of this spear here, where I believe it's Danny M7, or no, I'm sorry, Surprise Me actually is currently sitting at the lead of this group, and I'm sure Limitless would much prefer that 6th place rather than this 9th place, and Evo would certainly prefer that 2nd place over his 3rd place. So the Ferrari guys a little bit frustrated at the moment. STS F1 Alonso still waiting in the wings. Oh, Evo is so close to the back of the Sauber, climbing up turn 3, but just can't make anything happen into the braking zone of 4. Again, getting very, very close to the back end of that Sauber, but just can't make anything happen. And I got to wonder if LGS's disconnect has had any sort of effect on that one. Oh, the Sauber is so wide, completely missing his apex. Evo follows him through. Oh, and Leopard and Reynolds side by side. Leopard around the outside. Reynolds is just not having the best of races as he gets dropped down to 11th position. Leopard now up into the top 10, so actually both Williams cars in the top 10 as it stands right now. But clearly overtaking is not impossible, as we've seen a couple of them just in the past lap.
Yeah, it's not impossible at all, Justin. I a few times on this game that in damp conditions, when you don't have the DRS, it becomes a little bit more difficult. But to be fair to these drivers, they've been taking chances when they've been coming. And apart from Evo, who's just struggling at the moment to have any chance of getting through on, well, I'm now going to start calling opposite lockdown, because the back end has been all over the place all race long. But again, he continues to hold off Evo, continues to frustrate him. And in fact, Alonso is closer to Evo going across the line than Evo is to lockdown. So is Alonso in that Mercedes going to have a little look into turn one? I don't think so. But yeah, I don't know why these guys at the front are struggling to make a move. Meanwhile, the guys further down aren't making moves. I don't know if Leopard's move on Reynolds was properly legitimate. I think actually that
caught the tail end.
Yeah, I think Reynolds had made a mistake somewhere. Yeah, and they obviously lost out to Limitless, Rosberg, and Leopard, because we've just seen Reynolds make that move on Limitless on the previous lap. So I presume Reynolds has had a little slide, a little moment in the gravel trap, and that's how he's gone through. But yeah, at the front in this little group, it must be getting so frustrating for Evo. But we know what he's like, Justin. You said it before. He is a computer. He just waits for his moment. He doesn't make many mistakes. He's a calculated driver. He ain't going to send a missile up the inside and hope. He's only going to make the move if he's absolutely certain he's going to find a way through. Because there's a long way to go. He probably already knows that Flying Finn is out of reach. So the best I'm going to get second, make the move in the pit stops, or make a move later on. Is that probably what he's thinking, Justin, do you think?
Yeah, I have to imagine that Evo knew that the race victory was long gone, probably within the first handful of laps or so, as we approach 1/3 distance now, or at least the Flying Finn is approaching 1/3 distance. Everybody else is about 10 seconds off of that. But yeah, I'm on board with Hamilton, who has closed in, obviously, on this group. We watched him close in, but he hasn't made massive inroads. We can see Alonso just pushing Evo through the chicane, Evo less than a car length off of the Sauber, and then Hamilton is a little bit further off. I don't know if he's pacing himself, if he's managing the tires. Maybe he's going to try an undercut. Maybe he's going to try an overcut. Again, with the stop that the drivers are likely going to have to take in this 33-lap race. Oh, as OMG, it's Joe has retired. He was outside the points anyway, though. Things weren't going well for him in what is obviously a difficult race. Oh, it's getting very close again between Evo and Lockdown. Oh, but again, the Sauber just really seems to have the measure of the Ferrari at the corner exit, where it matters most, and into the corners. Evo just carries that better speed mid-corner, as he's getting a bit of oversteer actually coming out of 4 there. He just seems better mid-corner, whereas Lockdown seems, I mean, he seems very confident. Maybe we're not giving enough credit to him, because this is honestly an incredible drive to hold this position for as long as he had, or as long as he has, with the Ferrari of Evo right behind him. That's impressive stuff.
Very impressive. I mean, in a straight line, I don't think there's any way through with these damp conditions. It just doesn't seem possible. I mean, where is Evo's best opportunity? I'm having a look lap by lap. Where is the best chance? It seems to be through the long turn 3, where Lockdown's having the back end sliding, perhaps into turn 5, turn 4. It seems that area of the track where he gets closest. So if Evo's going to try anything, it seems to be there. I think Lockdown is struggling in those long, medium speed corners. We see him in turn 9. Evo gets a little closer. Turn 3, turn 4, turn 5. It just seems like those are the areas where Evo gets closest. So, yeah, it's getting very tough for him. But Lockdown, yeah, absolutely, Justin. He deserves a lot of credit. He's doing well. But look at this time. Evo, very close going across the start-finish line. Can he finally get this move done? Lockdown, for the first time, feels the need to get defensive. He defends the middle of the road. Evo's going to go dive for the inside. Can he outbreak him? He can. Side by side through turn 1. He squeezes Lockdown out, takes the place, and now Alonso is going to steam through as well. Lockdown, who held on for so long, but he's been eventually overtaken by an aggressive move from Evo into turn 1. He had one chance, and he took it, Justin. Sensational.
Speaking of one chance, STSF1 Alonso as well had one opportunity there to try and grab that open door and sneak his way through on Lockdown and see if he could follow Evo through, grab that podium position as well too, which hasn't been a great season for Alonso as far as podiums are concerned. So I'm sure he'll be happy to be in that 3rd place position. But again, he really just he needed to avoid what happened to Evo. And of course, Alonso has had a front row seat to what's been going on with Evo for the first third 3rd of the Spanish Grand Prix. So he knew that he needed to get past lockdown. He knows how difficult it was to get past that Sauber. And when he saw that there was a door open due to the Ferrari making that overtake, he grabbed it, snuck through with the Mercedes, and he's already starting to pull a little bit of a gap, actually, to lockdown. It's over a second now between the Mercedes, or just under a second between the Mercedes and the Sauber as they come into Sector 3 for the 13th time. Yeah, 13th time in this race as the Flying Finn. Let's just have a quick look at him. There he is. He's still driving around doing Flying Finn things. Currently coming into turn 1. And here's Evo crossing the start-finish line. Yeah.
That guy, where's he? I've not seen him all race. The Flying Finn, the Mercedes. Oh yeah, he's 10 seconds up the road, of course. We forgot all about him, Justin, didn't we? Oh, of course. Unbelievable. 10 seconds up the road, long gone, off into the distance, and on course to equal that record that Noble set all those seasons ago, Justin. How long ago was it? Was it season 7, I think somebody said? Was it before that even?
I honestly don't even know which seasons it was, but yeah, this was a long time ago that this happened. Noble has been out of the Apex Online Racing F1 leagues for quite some time, but we have found a suitable replacement. Sorry, Harry, but we have. I mean, let's be honest, the Flying Finn, with all these championships, all these victories in a row. Again, just rocked up in Season 12, had no idea who this guy was, and yeah, he quickly stamped himself into the record books as being one of those guys that just comes in and wins in his first season, which is just truly incredible on its own. That gap, meanwhile, turning our focus to things that are a bit more relevant in what's going on right now. Hamilton still stuck behind lockdown. That gap between Alonso and lockdown now almost 2 seconds. So we can clearly see, Andy, just how much they were being held up by that Sauber.
You know, lockdown was holding him up so much. Can Hamilton now get a move on and make a move? I've just seen there, don't know if you've seen it, Leopard, I think, in a big slide coming out of 7 and 8. Big opposite lock, and that allowed Reynolds to slither up the inside through turn 9, and then Merceau followed him through after that, and now Leopard has called for the pits, and actually both Williams have come in the same lap.
Oh no.
And could that cause a queue? Oh no, surely not. We'll have to wait and see. I would think he's still going to be held. Obviously the first Williams is away, but this could still hold the Leopard. Let's have a look. And yeah, it does.
Yeah.
The tyres aren't ready, and typical. And you were saying this last week, Justin, off air. Again, it was off air. You said they were hoping maybe in the next game they could bring something in where we can just get the tyres off and the new tyres on. So maybe Codemasters can add that in the future. But yeah, it's a shame for Leopard, and he's lost a few seconds there. Miscommunication between the two drivers there and the team.
Yep, and I think that might actually cost Leopard. Again, he was battling for that final points-paying position in 10th place and was doing well, you have to say, given that he's so new to the league and also the conditions of this race, with it being the first wet race too. I don't know about you, Andy, but you know, the first rain of the year, the first snow of the year, and the locals all forget how to drive in the snow. It's the same sort of thing. You know, it's been a while since these guys have done a wet race, so for them to just kind of be on it straight away is definitely a good sign. Man, I have not been really keeping up with what's been going on with Surprise Me and Limitless. Both of them currently outside the points. I think some drivers still yet to pit. And in fact, let's, we can see the number of stops. So yeah, 1st through 8th yet to pit. Alonso in lockdown, though, now into the pits. Interesting. So Evo and the Flying Finn continue on, but Alonso, lockdown, Rosberg, all 3 of those guys coming into the pits at the end of lap 15. So they're going to try an 18-lap stint, assuming these conditions keep up.
Don't know what's happened to Surprise there. Are you still with us, Justin? Yeah, it was just my mic there. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, Surprise, he's just been in the pits, so that's how he's down in 11th position. I was just having a look at the race director there to see what had happened to him. But yeah, he's down in 11th place, so I don't know what's happened there. But yeah, the Flying Finn out in front. I love what you said earlier on, Justin. That was superb, that comparison with the drivers in the snow, the locals the first time in the snow. Superb, man. Nobody has a clue how to drive in the snow. Oh, Limitless! Oh, he's off!
Oh.
Limitless is off the road! And Surprise goes through. Goodness me, Limitless, heart in his mouth there. Big slide on the exit of turn 3. And down where Alonso crashed.
No damage,
famously
though?
in pre-season testing. No damage done. A huge moment through turn 3. Back end all over the place, across the grass. And thankfully, he kept it out of the wall, but heart-stopping stuff for him. But yeah, I love your comment, Justin, about the snow. That's superb. Nobody has a clue how to drive in the snow, but yeah, these drivers adapting. They're the best in Xbox. They're the best out there, and a lot of them, of course, on F1 esports, of course, they'll adapt to the weather, no problem at all. So superb stuff. But we do have the two out front in the pits. We've got Flying Finn and Evo into the box, and I presume it will be for another set of those intermediate tyres, Justin.
Yep, it looks like this light rain is going to persist as the reigning champion makes his way out of the pits, and Evo, his nearest competitor in this race, is going to follow him out about 9.6 seconds behind. It looks like EVR Morso also into the pits as well. Oh, a bit of a lag there moment, but that's okay. 3-second time penalty, though, for EVR Reynolds. Oh, that's unfortunate. Where is he? Yeah, he's. Oh, I'm getting some serious lag now, actually.
Wow.
Are you seeing that lag too?
Yeah, I'm Justin. So hopefully we don't have any more issues. Hopefully that will smooth itself out and we can continue on our way without any more lag. But yeah, not good at all. Lagging like crazy. So hopefully that will smooth itself out. I think it has now.
Maybe? I'm hoping.
Not sure. Reynolds has left, so we've lost Reynolds from the session. So is that down to all the lag that's going on?
Potentially.
Will that stop the lag? Will that help it smooth out?
Yeah. Actually, now it's seeming okay.
Yeah, it is okay. So apologies for that, folks. Nothing we can do with that. That's out with our hands. But it would appear we are back without any lag. So Flying Finn, lap 17 of the 33. Waypoint is in the lead. It's NLR Evo second. It's third for STSF1 Alonso. It's CRL Hamilton fourth. Danny fifth. CRL Rosberg sixth. The Fry's up to seventh now. Merso eighth. Pinko ninth. And Lockdown down in 10th now. What's happened there? He's just dropped away, hasn't he?
Whoa, what has happened there? Hold on. Did we...
Terrible.
What in the heck?
I'll have a quick look at race director, Justin. I'll have a wee look to see what's happened to him.
Okay. Yeah, because obviously... Cryo Lockdown was involved with that battle for second position between Evo and Alonso. Got overtaken by Evo and Alonso. Was coming under threat from Hamilton. And actually, Hamilton now onto the back of Alonso for what is that final podium position. We could see the Williams start to pressure the Mercedes here. We're just at halfway distance, just about, in the Spanish Grand Prix. And again, first wet race of the season. I feel like I am seeing more blue in the sky. I'm not sure. At the same time, the rain is very much still coming down, but I feel like I am seeing more blue on the sky when I go on board with some of these drivers, so potentially could see it dry out towards the tail end of this race. Again, 17 laps still remain as Lockdown is into the pits again for another set of intermediates. Yeah, so I'm not sure what's happened to Lockdown, but whatever it is warranted a second pit stop. P1R Brown has also had a second pit stop, and we know Reynolds as well had an incident. I do see some carbon fiber also at the exit of turn 1. I don't know if all of these things are related to one another. Maybe the lag caused some sort of incident potentially. Not entirely sure, unfortunately, but clearly a big shift of fortune for Cryo Lockdown.
That's a real shame. You know, he was holding on quite well. We discussed that earlier on, Justin, didn't we? He was second. He wasn't quick. He wasn't quick enough really for that second place, but he was defending hard. And unfortunately, ever since then, Evo went past, Alonso went past, and then since the pit stop, it's just all fell away. But that second pit stop would suggest, as you say, some sort of lag incident where the front wing has came off that car. But yeah, not at all worked out for him. We've got a cracking little battle going on for 10th, 11th and 12th though, Justin. Look at that. Drawmaster, Limitless and Leopard all stuck together. And will there be any moves down into turn 1? Limitless getting tucked up behind Drawmaster. Is there any way he can make a move down towards turn 1 as he tucks into that rooster tail behind the car in front? But I don't think there'll be any move for Limitless into turn 1. He'll be hoping to get into the points. It's just not been happening for him this season, has it, Justin? Can he finally get some points on the board and maybe just have one good race near the top 5? But here we go, Limitless going through turn 3 into turn 4, all over the back of Drawmaster. Can he make a move? He's going to go for it, up the inside, into turn 4. That's not a place to be trying it, but he certainly lets Drawmaster know he's there. And Limitless on the move. Can he find a way past into turn 5 now? He's trying everything. Certainly having a look in all areas of the racetrack, and that's what we like to see. Cars going for it, ducking and diving up the inside, around the outside, and maybe that's what Evo was missing out on earlier. And look at that from Limitless, down the inside. He goes on Drawmaster. Has he completed the move? He has, and that was right on the limit, wasn't it? And Drawmaster, he might not be too happy with that. He'll certainly be flustered because he now has to look at TLR Leopard all over him. But Limitless, ducking and diving. And look at this, Leopard up the inside of Drawmaster, and he's through. Drawmaster clearly flustered by it, and I think he's got front wing damage on the right end plate.
He does.
I don't think that was with the collision with Limitless because it was on the other side of the car. So, yeah, strange one there. He drops down to 12th position.
Yeah.
We didn't see that from Evo earlier on lockdown, but we have seen it from Limitless. Ducking and diving, keep them guessing, and eventually it paid off for him. It was a good move. Good move from Limitless. Aggressive.
He sent the letter of intent. You know, he said, hey, just so you know, that's going to be my position pretty soon. So I'm just giving you fair warning. And then, yeah, he just gave it the old dive bomb up the inside of turn 7. Gave him the room. Drawmaster similarly gave him the room as well, too. And then Leopard following suit up the inside at the turn 10 hairpin. Made it look pretty easy. It didn't look like Drawmaster wanted to fight with Leopard too much over that either. Again, that front wing damage, it appears he has some damage to the front right-hand side of his wing. And I think that may be affecting his handling, his ability to battle with these guys. So he put up a little bit of a tussle with Limitless in the end, though, dropping out of the points-paying positions down into 12th with a 3.2 second gap down to Sam F1 LFC. So he doesn't really need to worry too much about losing any more positions, but the race is far from over. Still 13 laps to go in this Spanish Grand Prix. So if I were Drawmaster's race engineer, I'd be coming over the race and telling him exactly that. You know, there's 13 laps still to go. You're a couple of positions outside of the points. Stick with it, focus, be consistent, keep it on the track, don't spin, don't cause any problems. You know, let's just stay ahead of Sam and see what happens ahead of us. And it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do, as Leopard's really not pulling away. So Drawmaster could even bring that battle back towards him, potentially. Oh, he gets a bit on the curb, though, at the exit of turn 12, which couldn't prevented him from putting the power down. Oh, and Leopard is just... the cars are just so weird through that chicane. It just doesn't look natural at all.
Oh, it doesn't back in all over the place through there, but I'll tell you something else. We've got a little bit of an interesting battle developing for 7th now.
Yeah, I was noticing that.
Surprise right in danger here from Murso, who's closing and closing and closing and about to make a move. Surprise simply not enjoying these damp conditions. All 4 of the races we've had so far, he's been in the top 5. He was race and then 3 successive podiums, but this afternoon here in Spain, simply not enjoying these damp conditions. And now Murso closing onto the back of him, and pretty soon you would fancy him to be making a move. Interestingly as well, Justin, the podium isn't secure for Alonso either, because Hamilton on that trusty pad in these damp conditions is closing in on him as well. Half a second between those guys as well, and Alonso's just gone a little bit deep there into turn 10, and Hamilton is right on his case, and he fancies making a move pretty soon. And I think he might, if he gets a good exit out of turn 15 through 16 and across the line, he might just have a chance. So Alonso under pressure, the double Mercedes, the double brother podium under threat here. So here goes CRL Hamilton out of turn 15 through turn 16. Can he get himself close enough to make a move as he go across the start finish line to begin lap 22 out of 33 for these guys? 11 to go, and here we go up towards this first corner. Over 190 miles an hour, but there's no way he can find a way through into turn 1, and with the lack of DRS, Justin, it is very difficult down there. You need the car in front to make an error, don't you?
Yeah, he's just not closing on that straight. It's just not happening for him. So he is going to have to just hope for a mistake from Alonso, which could happen. Again, you know, these are the conditions for mistakes to happen. He goes pretty wide, about 1.5 meters off of his apex there through turn 4, while Hamilton is able to find it. Of course, the karting line, not necessarily the best line in F1 2017. Again, Alonso very wide, completely missing his apex. We're only 22 laps in. How are his tires going to be feeling in 11 laps time if this weather doesn't change? I fear Alonso might have to convert this into a 2-stop, and that would drop him right down the order, right outside the top 10 if he has to make a second pit stop.
Yeah, incredible this. Look at this battle here. Alonso really under threat. Hamilton on his tail through turn 5 in particular there. He was basically pushing him through, it was Hamilton. Absolutely incredible. We've got Drawmaster and Leopard changing positions. So you were calling it, and they're going side by side, and I see Leopard has got some serious front wing damage, a little bit of lag there as well, but it seems that Drawmaster has managed to bite back and get himself back up into 11th place. Meanwhile, was there some change of positions there with...
just dove up the inside, turn 10, made contact with the McLaren. Drawmaster losing the back end a little bit, but I think Leopard, in the sporting manner, he lifted off there. He's going to let the McLaren continue on. Just a little tap there, Andy, though. No damage to either driver, I don't think.
Okay, and I just cut away from it there. I didn't expect him to go for it, so there you go. A little bit of contact between those two. And yeah, fighting on the just outside the points, those guys. So not much at stake for them. And Leopard, in fact, is coming into the pits. His race is pretty much run, and a forgettable afternoon for him, it would seem. Out of the points and out of any hope of collecting any points. So yep, that battle has come to a close, and the top 10 looking pretty safe now with their points. The Limitless just inside the top 10. The nearest car to him, of course, Drawmaster, which he overtook a few laps ago with that great move. And interestingly, Leopard's just come in and put wet tyres on. Is it getting wetter, or is that just a mistake, Justin? I'm not sure. But Leopard's come in.
Could be a premature... Yeah, maybe he got a radio communication from his team that says the rain is going to be getting harder in a minute or two or something like that. Maybe he's just trying to preempt that. But yeah, it certainly does... I mean, I'm on the off-board camera that's positioned just at the entrance for Turn 1. And yeah, it really didn't look like the... Yeah, it doesn't seem like full wet conditions. And we can see he's struggling for grip through Turn 2, climbing up the hill through Turn 3. He's just... I mean, about 60% throttle and already having to give it a bit of opposite lock as well, too. Finally going full throttle as the car straightens out and he gets onto the brakes. And yeah, I just don't think this was the right call at all. 26-second gap between himself and P1R Brown. But again, we don't know what sort of radio communication he got from his race engineer. He might have been told that full wet conditions were coming. Maybe it was an accident. Maybe he was trying to select the intermediates and accidentally selected the full wets. We have no idea what the circumstances are there. But yeah, I don't think it's going to work out for him regardless whether it was intentional or not. Oh no, and I've been dropped.
Oh no, that's not good.
Yeah, so I've lost connection.
How do I get you back in? Is there any way I can get... Have you got backup invites, Justin? Hopefully you've got a backup.
Let me see here.
Hopefully you have.
Let me put up the background so people don't see my social security number and all that stuff, because, you know, that's how it works.
I'll give you guys some radio commentary then, if you want, for the next few moments. But hopefully we can get
unbelievable. I just got an invite from the Flying Finn.
Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness me. You've got to be kidding me on. That is absolutely incredible. The Flying Finn had time to slow down and invite you back in. I mean, even I didn't know how to do that. There you go. The Flying Finn with the invite. Oh, what? You've got to be kidding.
What?
Was it just then? Check the time. Was it just then he gave you it?
Yeah, yeah. It said it was right now. Unbelievable, and I'm back in. So thank you for putting up with that, everybody. Thank you to the Flying Finn for taking time out of his Spanish Grand Prix to make sure that you guys can all watch what's going on. Wow, that is I want to say that's probably a first. I don't think the race leader has ever invited a cameraman back into the session before in AOR.
That is absolutely ridiculous. Could you imagine that in real life?
Lewis pitting just to like give a guy an aspirin or something like that.
Coming into the pitch to give an interview with Martin Brundle at the pit stop or something. Unbelievable from the Flying Finn. But yeah, if he's out in the lead, why not drop an invite and get Justin back in? Brilliant stuff. Absolutely incredible. And some might say that's a bit disrespectful to the rest of the field, but no, I don't know about that. He was just trying to get Justin back in because, of course, we need Justin. Justin makes this. So yeah.
Right, I'm the camera guy. It's kind of important. Yeah, we tried out the radio broadcast during that one race start. It didn't work out so well. So yeah, probably good to have actual footage during the stream.
Absolutely brilliant. Oh, hold on. Alonso's gone a little bit deep. Finn's brother. He's not inviting people at the moment, is he? I'm not so sure. But anyway, Hamilton all over the back of Alonso, a little bit deep there into turn 10. And Hamilton is closer than he's ever been. And they're all starting to group up, Justin, here. Alonso, Hamilton, Danny, and Rosberg. All in a little group for that final podium spot. Which one of them will taste the champagne? We'll have to wait and see. But at the moment, in these conditions, you would have to say Alonso. just because it's so hard to make a move. Well, Hamilton tried what Limitless was trying earlier, ducking and diving, trying the inside, the outside, moving all over the place in his mirrors to let him know he's there and force Alonso into a mistake. But that seems like the only way to find a way through at the moment. Trying to be forceful, Justin, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is, like you said, this has closed right up in the tail stages of this race, which is what that's been a bit of a theme so far in season 15, is the pack kind of closing in towards the tail end of the race, and that's exactly what we're seeing once again. Danny M7 nearly finding himself back up in the position in which he started. He's now going to go side by side with Rosberg, and Rosberg's just trying to make this overtake on Danny around the outside of that left-hander. It hasn't quite worked out for the Toro Rosso, and Danny M7 is going to hold on to that position for the meantime, so he's now having to worry more about the Toro Rosso behind rather than the Williams up ahead, and I have to imagine that's just immensely frustrating for the Red Bull driver. It looks like a bit of a slide at the top of the hill as he comes out of turn 9. The Toro Rosso is going to switch over to the inside line on the Red Bull driver. They're both laid onto the brakes. It looks like a bit of contact between the two of them. Oh, yeah, and Hamilton is very slow. Oh, that could put him alongside. Danny M7 thinks about it, but it doesn't quite work. The Toro Rosso stuck behind the Red Bull, and that is exactly what Alonso wanted. Hamilton, I'm not sure what happened. Did you see what happened there?
He went a deep hold on. Rosberg on Danny. Danny went wide through turn 13. Chicane 14, 15. Through goes Rosberg up into 5th place. But yeah, Hamilton went deep into turn 10, Justin. Off he went across the runoff area, and that gave everyone a nip at his heels. But in fact, thankfully for him, there was no one there to take the place, but it has released Alonso to surely now pick up the champagne and take that podium place. But yeah, Hamilton getting it all wrong at turn 10, and then it all concertinaed up between he, Rosberg, and Danny. And in the end, Danny losing out to Rosberg.
Yep, it's getting very, very interesting in this battle for third. But again, Alonso has begun to break away now from that pack, as Hamilton just having that little mistake at the turn 10 hairpin on the previous lap. And that's just allowed Rosberg to close up significantly. Danny M7 seemingly struggling in that Red Bull. Can't quite keep up to the back of Rosberg as the Toro Rosso begins to pressure the Williams, now really starting to run out of laps. Just 6 more laps remaining in this Spanish Grand Prix, and it does look like we're going to be on these intermediates for the remainder of this race, as we're coming to the end of the 5th race of this 15-race season on Apex Online Racing, with Hype Energy and Elgato, of course, and into the hairpin once again. That bollard's still there, impressively. Seems all the drivers going wide at that corner, so the bollard has survived the entire 27 laps, as the Flying Finn already starting the 28th lap. NLR Evo slowly closing in. Again, though, I'll give Finn a bit of a break since he invited me back into this race while in the lead, so I won't fault him too much for losing a bit of time to the German Ferrari driver. But again, Alonso building that gap. It's now 2.5 seconds. Justin. Very close.
Rosberg and Hamilton very close here for 4th position. Hamilton defends to the inside. Rosberg going to have to go to the outside. The two CRL boys dueling in the brakes into turn 1, but all the momentum that gathered there for Rosberg just died away as they hit the brakes, and there was no way through. Now he's going to try and take a wider line through the sweeping turn 3 and give himself a run on the exit of the corner, but there's no way he can get close enough. And look at that popping up at the bottom left-hand corner. Surprise with the fastest lap. Well, he faded out of the Grand Prix, and now he's popped in with the fastest lap of the race. So I don't know what's happened there, as Pinecone has just got ahead of Limitless, I think, or there was some lag or something, I don't know. Up to 8th position, and Limitless down to 9. So Surprise popping up with the fastest lap there, having been really slow all race, hasn't he? Given the way he's been performing all season long, Justin, up till now, and it's just he's just slowly dropped down, slithered down the order in these damp conditions. But a real battle developing. 4th and 5th, Hamilton and Rosberg. The best battle on track.
Yeah, not been the best race for Surprise Me, but yeah, it's been a fantastic start to his season. So it's only a bad race for him by his new standards, which is basically podiums. You know, he's now a new podium contender in this league, and he should hold himself to that standard because he has that talent, he has that skill. And it's getting very close. Rosberg is just tapping nearly the Williams through the chicane as they come to the end of lap 28. Just 5 laps remaining for these guys. And it's been a good race for Rosberg. Again, started from 15th position. And by the way, I know you mentioned the Pinecone Limitless thing. That was actually Pinecone defending that position from Limitless. I wanted to mention earlier that Pinecone has been in that 8th place position for quite some time now. Again, it wasn't a great race for the other Haas of LGS 469, but Pinecone doing well, staying ahead of Limitless, defending from that Ferrari. Yeah, that's impressive stuff from Pinecone. And even if he loses that position to Limitless, I think he's going to be safe from Surprise Me, even though the Toro Rosso is setting fastest laps.
All right. It should be safe from him. And of course, folks, anyone watching, feel free to give us your tip for driver of the day as the lap comes, the race comes to a close. But yeah, for me, Justin, I don't know about you, but at the moment, you know, Rosberg's done well. He's gone up 10 places. Pinecone up 8 as well. But for me, Flying Finn. Yeah. I mean, he saved the day on the stream. Yeah. I mean, I know that's not particularly to do with the drive, but he has been absolutely sensational, hasn't he? He's just totally bossed this race. And yeah, I feel deserves a mention. But for me, Finn, Rosberg, and Pinecone, the 3 drivers that have done well today. Hamilton's done well too, up 4. Alonso up 4. But if I had to pick one, Flying Finn, Justin, I'm sure you agree.
Yep, 100%. Because yeah, just an absolute masterclass, and as you said, saved the stream as well too. I mean, if not for that, then maybe there would be a little bit of a debate going on. But no, I think that cemented his position as driver of the day as the CRL boys round the final corner to start lap 30. Just 4 laps remaining, less than 4 laps remaining. Oh, as Danny M7 decides to pit from 6th position. That's definitely going to lose him a number of positions. I think Pinecone, yeah, he's just coming through the final corner now, so he is going to lose a position to Pinecone, Limitless, Surprise, possibly even Drawmaster. So he could find himself down in 10th position, may even find himself down in 11th position. He's making his way out of the pit lane now. Where is the McLaren of Drawmaster? There he is as he comes over the crest of the hill. It looks like the Red Bull of Danny M7 will be safe in that 10th place position. So again, Danny, a consistent point scorer. Looks like he's going to continue that. He'll be able to put in some seriously fast laps at the end of this race with these fresh intermediates, but about 4-second gap between himself and Surprise. I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do. He'll be safe in this 10th place position, but I don't know if he's going to be going up at all.
I don't know why he came in. I mean, that's what I'm interested in. Why did Danny come into the pits? Presumably, he'd run his tyres towards puncture territory. That's the only possible explanation. Or did he damage the wing somewhere? But for him to come into the pits with as few laps that are left, Justin, and lose all those places and all those points is a bit of a mystery for me. We'll have to keep an eye on that and try and figure out what happened after the Grand Prix. But I'm not too sure. Meanwhile, on the driver of the day front, we put the question to the guys watching, and literally everybody has agreed that the Flying Finn has done a great job. I mean, everyone in the chat, Flying Finn, Alien, Finn 10 out of 10, driver of the day Finn, and yeah.
Yep, and it's
100% the Flying Finn, yeah.
Dream finish for the brothers, of course. The Sutton brothers in 1st and 3rd position. Evo putting a bit of a damper on that parade. Oh my goodness, Surprise Me is very close to the back of TRL Limitless as they come out of the final corner. Excuse me, Velace Limitless. I keep forgetting about his new name. He's going to be up the inside line with the Toro Rosso into turn 1 on the Ferrari. Can he make the move in these treacherous conditions? He's just about going to hold it, but it looks like with the inside line through turn 2, Limitless is going to hold on to that 8th place position. Again, not much remaining in this race. We are really getting to the closing stages here, but it seems that Pinecone possibly holding up Limitless. Either that or Surprise Me is just really rapid. I mean, again, we did see him putting in quick laps earlier, so he could just be that much quicker to Limitless, but again, Limitless was battling with Pinecone earlier, so I'm not sure if Pinecone kind of pushed Limitless into Danny M7, or into Surprise Me's grasp there, but Danny M7 now 2.2 seconds back. Oh, and Cyril Hamilton...
He's got a left front puncture. I don't believe
he does.
Hamilton with the left front puncture. Oh. This race has been ruined here. Absolutely disastrous for him. And we were wondering why the pit stop came from Danny. That's why, because they're all running on the limit of their tyres. Will any more tyres go? But CRL Hamilton's race has been destroyed. It's been deflated, just like his left front tyre. And Hamilton will be furious. I don't believe it. Is that down to running on the pad, perhaps? Does Danny run on a pad? Do they both run pad? I'm not sure. I know Hamilton runs pad.
I
so that
think
might
so.
Explain it.
Yeah.
Well, there you go then. That's what it is. The pad might be quicker at times, but it has more tyre wear. And unfortunately for these guys, they either had to pit or suffered a puncture. And now, is that Hamilton going out on wets? It is.
That's okay. That's an interesting call. In the background, though, it looks like, oh, we got a car in the way. That he's getting nicely out of the way, but that has put Surprise Me under attack from Limitless, and Limitless has actually, or excuse me, the other way around. Surprise Me trying to put the moves on Limitless here as they come out of turn 3 into turn 4. It doesn't look like the Toro Rosso is going to be able to go side by side into the right-hander, though, and they hold on to that position as they were. Again, though, Danny M7 closing up on this group with these fresh intermediates very quickly as they're on the penultimate lap of this Spanish Grand Prix. The Flying Finn, I think, is coming to the end of the lap already. He'll get the white flag this time by as they start the 33rd and final lap, and there it is for the Flying Finn. He gets the white flag, 33rd lap. And Danny M7 again very close to the back of Surprise Me. Surprise Me pushing the Ferrari of Limitless through turn 9 as they come up onto the back straight into the heavy braking zone of turn 10. Can the Toro Rosso make anything happen here? It doesn't look like it. Pinecone still holding on to what is now a 6th place position. He's got these 3 guys clamoring at his heels to try and take that spot, but at the moment, Limitless is keeping the Toro Rosso and the Red Bull at bay, and I have to imagine the Haas driver is thrilled about that.
The rain is definitely getting heavier as well. That might explain Hamilton's decision to pit for the wets, but I don't think it'll have any effect. I don't think you'll get the benefit of that in the time that remains. But the rain is definitely coming down heavier. You can see it as you look at the screen. It's definitely lashing down a lot harder. There's more rain coming down. But look at Surprise all over the back of Limitless. A few laps ago, he was looking close to make a move. Limitless has to go full on defensive to the inside. Can Surprise sweep right round the outside of him? Not quite. What about the cutback? He'll try around the outside of turn 2, but he gets a little bit of problems. And look at Danny steaming in on those fresh inters, sweeping past, and then losing the rear end as he goes through turn 3. And now drops back into the clutches of Surprise. And Surprise has a little look up the inside. Can he go back through? I don't think he'll have the traction because Danny has fresh inters, and Danny goes through and takes 8th. Incredible, Justin. Absolutely incredible.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Incredible stuff. Danny M7 now up into 8th position with Limitless just ahead of him. Pinecone not that far ahead as the Flying Finn crosses the line. Who cares, though? I am so focused on this battle for 6th position. EVR more so as well is very close to Rosberg. In fact, it's going to be very close for that final 3rd place position. Again, I'm still focused on this battle. Danny M7 could try something on Limitless now. Up the inside of the turn 10 hairpin on the Ferrari. They bump wheels a little bit at the exit. Surely he's going to get the traction with the fresher tires. Those intermediates much healthier compared to the Ferrari. Oh, a big slide, though, for the Red Bull, and that could put Limitless back on him, but no, he gets going in the right direction. That could put Surprise Me, though, along the inside of the Ferrari. No, he can't make anything happen up the inside there. There they go into the chicane, though. Limitless is wide. The Toro Rosso goes through on Surprise Me into the final corner. Surprise is going to take that 8th place position. Danny M7 in 7th after that very late pit stop. Pinecone with the 6th place finish. A fantastic result for the Haas driver. But again, your winner is the Flying Finn. It is 12 wins in a row to match the record set by Noble 2909 all those years ago. Incredible stuff. We can see why he's the champion. This is just, I mean, this guy is insane. He's insane.
Yeah. We say it every week, Justin. The man is just on another planet. And there you go, as you say, 12 wins. And I have to say, the odds are bang on for him to go out next time out and absolutely seal that 13 wins in a row and break that record. But of course, 13 is unlucky for some, and obviously that's what happened to Noble. But there you go, Flying Finn celebrating on the top step of the podium. It's a fantastic afternoon for him here in Spain. A fantastic afternoon for Mercedes, for the two brothers. They're both on the podium. But Evo, of course, getting that 2nd place, and the champagne sprays. And it's a brilliant performance from the Flying Finn. He will be delighted. 13 wins in a row if he can do it next time out. 12 at the moment. Absolutely incredible. But I want to have a few things to say, actually, Justin, on that final lap chaos that was going on from turn 10 onwards. I have to say that was a brilliant move from Danny initially. That was a great move. Well measured on Limitless, up the inside. But after that, I felt Limitless should have gave it up. He should have given it up. Danny was far enough ahead to dictate the next few corners. He gave him a little tap. Then it all descended into chaos. And then I think Limitless in the final couple of corners to snatch that place as well. So that might go to the stewards, by the way. I don't know what will happen there. Obviously, we commentate. We don't actually decide what happens. But I'm just an opinion on it. I felt that Limitless should have just let it go I don't know what you think, Justin, but he should have just let Danny go. I felt. I think Danny should have been dictating the corner.
Yeah, especially because apparently Danny had a 3-second time penalty, so actually it made no difference. Limitless had that position. All he needed to do was stick to the back of him, and by making that kind of daring move, you just run the risk of actually being punted off and maybe even finishing outside the top 10. So yeah, maybe not the brightest of ideas. It did end up working out for everybody in the end, and it was fantastic to watch, so I'll give him that. But yeah, certainly, yeah, probably not what I would have gone for personally, but holy crap, what a race. Really not so much at the front, though, as, again, the Flying Finn really just walking it. Again, our driver of the day, your driver of the day. He's everybody's driver of the day. If you go into the PC side and ask for their driver of the day, they're probably going to say the Flying Finn, let's be honest, because that's the kind of performance that he just put in. And again, that's his 12th victory in a row, spanning 2 seasons. That goes back to season 14. Where he was really just walking at 7 races at the end, all in a row. Just an incredible run of victories, and he's only continued that here in season 15, now with 5 in a row to start his season. That's 125 points out of a possible 125 points.
And of course, with the season being so short, Justin, we've mentioned it, of course, before in the broadcast. Only 15 races, and as you've said, we're 1/3 of the way through. Flying Finn's got maximum points. His closest rival, Surprise, wasn't exactly up at the front.
Nope.
Okay, Evo will now retake that second place in the championship, but yeah, it's just ridiculous, and there's no way anybody is going to stop the Flying Finn. After 3 races, he was having to fight. He really was having to fight. He didn't lead that many laps in the first 3 races, but he's just gone on another level, hasn't he? He's just been incredible. Bahrain, brilliant, and today was the most dominant display, I mean, from the Flying Finn. I don't know about you, Justin. You've seen a lot more races than me in AOR, but that was extremely dominant, wasn't it?
Yep. And I mean, it certainly helped that he had the battle going on behind. That battle for second position was certainly beneficial to the Flying Finn, no doubt about that. But it looks like we've got Evo with us, actually, our second place finisher, Evo. Are you with us?
Yes.
Wonderful. Fantastic. Wow, man, I feel like I'm interviewing you all the time now between AOR and the F1 esports, and I'm just talking to you all the time. Well, that was a good second place there. Were you frustrated not to be able to challenge the Flying Finn, though, getting stuck behind Hamilton in the early stages like that?
I don't know if I would be able to pass him on track, though. The pace was really good. I was surprised by that, but in the start, I was pretty cautious and was stuck behind lockdown till like lap 13 or something like that. And yeah, after I got him, then pace was really good. I was surprised by that.
Yeah, it was good to. It was interesting to watch how that played out with. Oh gosh, sorry, I've got some dogs barking in the background, but yeah, it was interesting to see how that played out. Andy, do you want to grab? I'm going to mute up because of the dogs, but do you want to grab? I believe Alonso and the Flying Finn are ready for interview too.
I'm trying my best. Yep, I'll try and get them in. There we go. Oh, hold on, folks. I'm not really great with Discord. I'm not going to lie. I'll try and get them in. I think. There we go. I think I've got them both in. There we go. We got them in, Justin. But Justin is away, of course, to sort out the dogs, which are making all sorts of noises. But I've got to say, I think the Flying Finn, he's got himself muted. We'll try and get him. Hopefully, he'll unmute himself, and Alonso will unmute himself. But yeah, there he is. We've got the Flying Finn. Yep, Flying Finn. Yeah, superb performance. Yet again, totally dominant. The most dominant I've seen this season. We thought maybe the damp conditions would throw a curveball at you, but you seem to be coming up with the answers for everything. Another great drive. Talk us through it.
Yeah, man. Oh, really good race for me. Felt good in both conditions, both in practice and AOR, and yeah, just delighted to win. But yeah, I think the performance today wasn't maybe too dominant because I think ever since Evo got past Mitchell, lockdown that is, he was pretty much matching my pace, and so yeah, it could have been much closer if he got past lockdown early on. But happy with the result at the end, and really just happy really, and I love this track, I really do, and yeah, to get the pole position and the win is pretty good. Just gutted. I think Danny took my fastest lap So got enough to get the Grand Slam. But yeah, overall, pretty decent performance. And nice to see Evo and Sonch back on the podium.
Record, you now draw level, 12 straight victories. Unbelievable. Can you go and make it 13 next time out? What do you think? What's your chances?
Silverstone, well, we saw last season. We had like Evo nearly winning, was surprised nearly won on the pad as well. So, yeah, I mean, I hate, like, I keep repeating myself every week and I want people to believe it, but trust me, in practice, it's incredibly close. It really is. I swear to God, I swear on my dad's life, it's so close. And like, surprise, I think he got wing damage on lap 2. And in wet and like dry, his pace was just insane. How he does it on the pad is just, yeah. And well, earlier in practice, me, Sonuch, Evo, and Surprise were going like nip and neck, like literally head and tail, like for like 30 laps straight. So I just wish that was AOR, but yeah, either way, just want to see them bounce back in Silverstone and hope for a much, much closer race.
Go, Justin. Ask some questions if you would like to.
Yeah, just wanted to say huge congratulations, of course. And so we heard from Evo, we heard from Finn. Alonso, are you with us as well?
Yes.
Yes.
And how was that one for you today? A bit more exciting for you and Evo compared to Finn's race, but how was it out there? Did you welcome those conditions?
Nah. I'm usually really good in wets, but that's what happens when I don't practice. I've never didn't expect it to rain, but I should have practiced. But the whole race, I was just trying to save my tires, but I literally drove like a granny up the end as well. I think I was doing 3 seconds slower than my lap times, and yeah, I think I went for the undercut on Evo. I thought he was going to pick the same lap as me, but he went for an extra lap. I went for the undercut for Evo, and then I got held up in the pits, and then I came out behind, well, not a back marker, but a slow driver, and he held me up a few seconds, and Evo just overcut me pretty much. But I think I had 3 second gap to him, and then from then onwards I just started saving tires because there was no chance I was going to catch up. If I was right behind him, then maybe, but yeah, from 3 seconds there's no chance. And then I had Hamilton behind me most of the race, and I just saved tires. I just didn't push because I think I ended up finishing on 78%, which is really high risk. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and I don't know if we expected the tires to be that marginal. Obviously, we ended up seeing Danny M7 going for a very late stop because obviously he thought he wasn't going to last. CRL Hamilton picking up the first puncture of the season for this Xbox side, if I'm not mistaken, Andy. I believe that was the first puncture we've seen. So yeah, clearly. Yeah, the tires playing a bit more of a role today than we've seen in the previous races this season. But I believe that is going to be it for this 5th round Spanish Grand Prix for Season 15 of Apex Online Racing Hype Energy F1 League. Thank you so much for joining me, Andy, of course.
Yeah, it's been good. I've enjoyed it once again, but I keep saying it every week. Is someone going to stop the Flying Finn? We'll have to wait and see if Silverstone is the track. But I mean, Finn said it himself. It was quite tight last time round. So is this the one that stops the run, and it will remain at 12 wins for him, 12 wins for Noble? We'll have to wait and see, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to bet against him, Justin, isn't it?
Yep. So thanks to all the drivers for putting on a good show and coming in and speaking with us after the race. Thanks to the viewers, of course, for tuning in. We will see you next time out for the British Grand Prix, the 6th round. Can the Flying Finn make it 13 wins in a row? We'll find out next time for the 6th round of Season 15. Thank you.